Hi, everyone. Hello. Say hello, Lola. And then be quiet like my little Benji. Hi, everyone. They're especially barky today because they don't want to go outside because it's raining. It's raining here today in New England, but it's still wonderful. I love it when it rains in the fall. I think it's because a long, long time ago I read that when we get wet, like early fall, we get better colors for our leaves. So I think that's why I love it so much. Some people have problems with rain on any day. I know what that feeling is about. And actually talked to Becky Mills, who's a regular here. And she won last month one of the prizes, which was another paper prize. And she said that she was feeling low because she lost her husband, but that she watches the show regularly to try to boost her enthusiasm for life and for crafting. And I was glad to hear it because she's such a lovely lady. We sometimes have to force ourselves to craft. I know it sounds a little weird, but I did go through a phase where I had to force myself to craft through some grief that I was dealing with. And I'm glad I did because I came out stronger on the other side. My one piece of advice, if you've never gone through grief, is you have to go through it. You cannot avoid it or put it aside. Like, whatever. You have to go through it. And so if that means crafting while you're crying, then do it. because you do need to feel oh, wow. Okay, Sandra. So see, that's the kind of thing is that, it's coming up on my dad's 10-year anniversary for his death, and he died on the day before Halloween. And so for the first couple of years, even though I had a young son who was just getting into trick-or-treating, I had to force myself to I want to say fake it till you make it, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more about like going through the motions, and once your body is doing it, your brain comes around to it and you can work out some of that grief. So now I can easily do Halloween things and not be, I think of my dad. Of course I think of my dad. I don't think you ever get over grief, but you learn to handle it as long as you are going to be kind to yourself. You have to be kind to yourself all the time. The world is very unkind, generally speaking. I wish it weren't. There are some great spots in the world where people, are kind. But for the general, there's a lot of unkind people out there. So look at the worst person that can be unkind to you is yourself. So start off there. Be kind to yourself. So what? Your hair needs to be dyed, or you need to lose 15 pounds, or you whatever, you have wrinkles or whatever. It doesn't matter, because what matters is what's in you. It's what's in you. It's your spirit. And okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but I guess I was just thinking, fall and the rain and my dad and things like that. And you just be kind to each other, but also be kind to yourself, right? Just be kind to yourself. Oh, that's so sweet. Tonight we'll stop and get some pizza and take it to his grave and eat dinner. That Yeah, and grieving, just in case you've not experienced grief, which I think most of us have, but if you have not experienced grief, it is a process. It's not a linear process. It sometimes gets bad, and sometimes it gets better, and sometimes there are days when you're just so sad, and days when you just can't, you're crying through, trying to look through your tears. I've been there. I know. So, but sometimes it gets better. I don't think it ever goes away. It's like a hole in your heart. It can get patched up, but it's very tender. It's a very tender area. Anyway, let's talk about this fun card that we're going to do. You know what, Diane? I do want to make mention that Facebook has changed things. And again, and so you may not have gotten a notification about this, and I do apologize for that, but this morning I went to log on the way that I've been logging on for the last 3 months, which is through an event, and then it said, nope, you got to do it this way. So that might be the reason why some of you may not have gotten notifications, but I do apologize. Not that I could have prevented it, because I couldn't have, but oh well. I like to apologize. So anyway, if you won one of those Dreaming Tree giveaways, you should have received an email from me with there were 5 of them. I did send the codes out last night. You should be able to use those. I thought that was fantastic. The folks over at Dreaming Tree really are so professional and kind, and I wanted to just thank them again for providing us with giveaways. We also have our own giveaways from our friends at Cricut and from me, Miss Rita, to the rescue. And we have one going on right now, and that is for a bundle of joy. So it's a September bundle of joy. We've been doing this for a couple months now. It's a joy plus all of the fun stuff to get you started with the joy, like the card mat and some pens and things like that. And it's a really fun gift to win. And all you have to do is follow me on YouTube and Facebook. If you're not on Facebook and you're watching this on YouTube, that's okay too. Once you follow me, then you can put your name in every single day for the whole time. So once you're followed, comment, like, share, do all of that wonderful social stuff, because it really helps me get up in the algorithms, and like I can understand all of those, but basically, I think it helps to present my material to other people. And so we get to meet new people, and they get to become part of our family. And that's the greatest thing. It's the greatest thing. So, I'm so happy to have what was that? Girl Scouts, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. That's what we're setting out to do. We're trying to make some new friends and keep our old ones, because you're all silver and gold. Isn't that great? Hi, Mary Jane. All right. So today we are going to, so don't forget to get your name in for the bundle of joy. Don't forget, this is your reminder to go and do it. And I'll put the link in the description of the video. The other thing that I have to tell you, I'm always running around like I got my, no head, chicken without a head, and somebody was asking, I think it was Anna Maria, asking for my teddy bear. I have her pasted onto my, my teddy bear back to school card, and I had forgot to put that in there. So I did populate that. And so if you have been looking for that file, go to the YouTube page and find it there. And make it your own by clicking through and saving it in Design Space, okay? I am working on a way, if I can get through my backlog of stuff, but I am working on a way to have all of my files somewhere. I think it's going to end up being on my blog, which I have somewhat abandoned of late, but so that you can see the video and then you can get the file. I think that would be super helpful for some people. So there you go. Okay, so this is a wonderful card from, it's not from Dreaming Tree. It's not from an outside designer. It's from a design team called Rob and Bob. I talk about these guys all the time. They're out of New York, two neat guys that do a lot of art. They have their own studio, and they have contracted with Cricut to create some great images that I am going to again and again. And the great thing, here's my plug for Cricut Access, is that almost everything that's Rob and Bob is free if you're a Cricut Access customer. And that includes this one, which is a very vintagey cat with the moon. I don't know. I'm really into vintage, and I just think when I look at this, this really looks vintagey to me, and I thought I would keep most of this the way it is. The only thing is that when it comes to the card, I'm just going to move this over here. When it comes to the card, I had to add my own sentiment, and so I'm going to show you how to do that, how to pick a font, because we were talking about that yesterday. We were talking about sentiments and using vinyl or using your pen, and someone, I think it might have been Nikki, who said, well, you could just use text to do that. So I'm going to show you how to do that today, so you can create your own sentiment inside of the cards using your pens. Okay, so yesterday we kind of did the vinyl. Tomorrow, if I can swing it, we're going to be using iron-on, because those are kind of those three methods. I don't want you to cut out sentiments with paper because it just is messy looking. So either we're going to use a pen, or we're going to use vinyl, or some people use iron-on. The other thing that you can do is print then cut, but I figured those people know the print then cut one better than everything else, so I figure we'd do this. Okay, so let's find this card. Okay, so I'm gonna save this, and I'm going to start like brand new, just like you would. So we're going to go to new up here, the top at the plus sign. Then we're going to go to images here. Okay, and at images, we are going to hit all images again, okay? And this is where we want to go. So when you hit all images, you get this sort of, it's a drill down, but also a search box. That's what we want to be looking at. And we are going to go here to image sets, okay? Now, you can find these images in a number of other ways, but this is the way that I find them. And so I thought it would be useful. Okay, so image sets is the new term for cartridges, which when we all start, or when some of us started back in the day, we used cartridges to cut on the Cricut before they had online and stuff like that. You might have heard me talking about that last Friday. So they changed the name to image sets, which is great because not all of the ones that are in there are from cartridges. And so, you know, you'll notice that some of the newer ones have smaller groupings of images, others have bigger, and those are usually the cartridges. So this one cartridge that we're going to look at is under the name Rob and Bob. So I just type in the name Rob, or you can do Bob. It's up to you. They're Rob and Bob. And these are all of their image sets. All right. So these are a lot of fun. There's a lot of Christmas stuff here, but there's also some really great Halloween ones. So here we're going to go to Rob and Bob Happy Halloween, and we'll do these other these other cards as well if you're up for it. And so you will need to scroll a little bit, but here's our vintage cat right there. There's also this really funky skull that opens up. I could see a kid liking that. And then there's this beautiful owl, and I just love owls anyway. And then also there's this one. Now, I'm happy to do all of these because I just love their cards. I also want to show you, is this it? No. This, the best of Rob and Bob might have some duplicates from other images, but it also has some unique things, and including this one, which I absolutely adore. It's a Frankenstein, and it's kind of like a, I forget the name of that cutout, but, I did that last year and it was really great. And this one here, which is like, I think it's called Mr. Bones, which is like, it's like a skeleton dressed up in a top hat and with a haunted house in the background. So that was pretty cool. So we're going to choose for today. We're going to choose, where are we going to choose, Rita? We're going to go to the Happy Halloween image set. And unfortunately, there are 2 listings here and I typed on the wrong one. Okay, here we go. And we're going to choose this guy. This is our vintage cat. So, and we're just waiting for it to come in. So, as I mentioned, we don't really have to do much with this card. When it first comes in, we're going to ungroup it. And this is just so we can manipulate the file. So what I usually do is ungroup it and move the envelope off to the side. And then I start picking apart the image, okay? So now if you have a joy and you want to make this card, you certainly can. The easiest way around it is just not to cut out these. I can get into a little more detail in a second. So let me just align this to center because I want to make sure it's the right size. And it is almost 10 inches wide by 7, which means when it's folded, it's going to be a 5 by 7 inch card, okay? And what you'll notice is that in addition to all of these lovely little layers for our cat, just move them all over here. And yeah, there are a lot of layers, including for the moon. You have this interior, which has no sentiment on it. You have the exterior, and this actually, I changed this to a yellow to really brighten it up. And so basically that's going to get sandwiched between the interior and the exterior, and you'll have all these lovely yellow stars, okay? And so you don't really need to do anything on this unless you are going to make it smaller, or you want to cut it on the joy. If you want to cut it on the joy, what I would suggest that you do is, let's align all of these, align it to center. And the entire card we're going to resize. And so let us resize to 5.5, 11, wait. I gotta think about this. 5.5, right? Yeah, 5.5 by 8.25. That's it, 8.25. So we're gonna unlock and 8.25. That's just so that it's going to, the cat is going to be shaped to cut out on an index size, an insert size card, okay? So then what you would do is take all of these pieces off, and you can cut all of these pieces with your joy, which is great. But you will need to sort of modify this front piece by taking the scoring off. You just detach it, okay? And then you would cut out a piece from here. We've done this before, right? But you would just kind of add a shape, a square, and then you would make that square essentially I have to unlock it, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, 4.25 by 5.5. Okay, and then you would put this over here like this and slice. This way you can have, okay, come on. You can have your cake and eat it too, basically. You can cut this on the Joy, just like this. Isn't that cool? So that's how you would do it. You wouldn't have the back. Or you could use an insert card. You could use an insert card and cut out this, but you'd have to still cut out this backing. And instead of doing like kind of like a stencil, you would do it inverse. I got to show you how to do that someday. Not today, but we'll do it some other time. All right. So let's go back to our card being on the, and I'm just hitting the back button. Love that back button. I haven't figured out the forward button yet, but okay. All right, so here we go. So here we're back and our card is, 10 by 7. So all this stuff, cut it out with solid colors, really bright, do bright yellow. I actually did a little bit of glitter, but I honestly didn't need it to do the glitter, and I'll show you why. So this becomes the front of the card. We kind of don't need to do that, but let's talk about the inscription. So I don't know if you're like me. You can go forward, but I'm always going back. I don't know. Just not for me, I guess. So I'm like one of those, I'm a vintage gal. You guys know that about me. And I absolutely adore, I'm going to go see if I can find this vintage. So I'm going to go to Pinterest because this is the best way of showing you what I like to look at. So I love the Halloween, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. Okay. The Halloween, Christmas, and Thanksgiving images from like the 1920s, the 1930s, and everything. I find them to be really playful, and so I often will like try to incorporate them, and especially love the sentiments that are in there. So I will often look at like vintage Halloween sentiments like that in Pinterest, and oftentimes you'll see some pretty fun things. So like here, here's one. 'Tis Halloween, the black cat cries aloud to the moon. From where he cannot be seen, but from the sound of the lonesome tune, I know it's Halloween. And I just kind of like these little inserts. Here we go. At midnight, neath the witch's tree, who dares keep Halloween with me? You know, these are kind of fun. So what I often do is, I pin them, but then what I do is I pull up my notes. So if you're kind of person that uses an iPad, this is kind of a cool thing. So you just pull up and make a new note, and this is what I did here. I found one that I liked. When witches go riding and black cats are seen, the moon laughs and whispers, 'tis near Halloween. So I love that. So I actually made a little note with that. And now I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to hit Command C on my computer. Now this might be different on a PC. I don't have a PC, so I don't know how to give you those instructions, but I'm sure somebody here can. But I use a Mac, and so I'm Command C, and now I'm going back to my design space, and I'm going to hit the T for text. And you'll see down here, there is this little box that comes up. So far, nothing on the screen, right? But there's this little box that comes up. And since I copied it to my little clipboard, I am going to then paste it by doing Command V on the Mac. And then I only have to have this once. So if I want to use the sentiment, and I would suggest that you have like a little sentiment place or notes, so that way you can sort of cut and paste them whenever you need them. It's a great way to, so you don't Control V. Oh, okay. That's if you have I use Command V, right? Thank you, Shirley. So this comes out obviously very large because I did it all in one line. So don't bother, formatting it, because you're going to format it here in Design Space. So here, that's what I'm doing. I am just putting some page breaks here. Now, clearly, this isn't the way that I want it to be. It would never fit on the card. But also, it's not centered. I have to have my sentiment centered. But also, it's in a cut file. It's a cut version. And how do I know that? Because it says Style Regular up here. See that? So this is the default Cricut Sans, and it's a regular cut file. So if I wanted to, I don't know if Cricut's, yeah, it does. So if I wanted to see how it looked in writing, I can, without going to a different text, I can just switch it to writing. And it does take a second, right? But it's still too big. So then we can start manipulating. First, we're going to go to Alignment, Center. And then we're going to take these little handlebars and actually unlock and sort of... Does anybody notice that the panels are shaded out when they're hiding? I wonder why they do that. Don't they know we're all practically blind? I don't understand that. So, okay, so I am just like kind of playing around with this and trying to see how it will look. I'm not going too extreme because I still want to change the font. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to Fonts and use this pull down, and I am just going to start scrolling. Now, there are tons and tons of fonts out there, and so you can have a blast finding them and installing them on your computer. I honestly, unless you have a like absolute favorite font, I kind of stick with the Cricut font because it's too much for me, and I have some that I just love. But one that I found that I thought it would look really funky on this card was called Chicken Scratch. And I think it was let me check. I think it was, there it is. It's a Cricut Access font, and it looks like Chicken Scratch. So it looks really like somebody wrote it out. So I'm going to choose that one. Let's see how it looks. We still have to make some adjustments to size, but it really looks kind of cool. And I'll make it bigger so you can see what I mean. See how it looks like somebody took a pen and was writing it out. So I think that's kind of cool and funky. You don't have to do that, but that's the one that I'm going to choose, Chicken Scratch. So I'm also going to sort of resize it a little bit. I think a little, I like to put my sentiments a little bit higher up on the inside of the card. I don't want them too big. So for me, this looks pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach but not move my score line, and then I am going to select all three, the score, the card, and the writing, and attach them again. Okay, that's just like a little extra step. I don't know why, but see here, I don't know why you have to do that, but let's just attach it. All right. Yeah, it's a fun font. Now, one thing I learned from Melody that it blew my mind, and I was like so hoping to do it here today, was I wanted to use my gel pens. I got this great pack of pens called the gel pen set, or it might be called the ultimate gel pen set, but they are 1.0 millimeter, and they come in all these really cool colors, including this really neat bright orange. What color? It's called tangerine. And so what Melody told me was the gel pens, when you use them in the machine, they stay wet for about 10 or 15 minutes. And so if you are the kind of person that likes to, you know, add little special touches, then if you have some of this, which is embossing powder. So here's some embossing powder. So this one's clear sparkle. So once you take it out of the machine, you would shake this onto the wet ink, and then you would shake off the extra, and then you could take a heat gun and emboss the inside, which is so cool. I don't know. I never thought of that, but yes, it's so cool. And you can do it with these Cricut pens. I don't know if you can do it with other pens, but these are gel pens, remember. So if you're into embossing, there you go. You can emboss that way. Sadly, I have been looking high and low for my embossing gun, which is just like a little heat gun, and I can't find it. We used it a little while ago, and now I can't find it. So I'm sure I'll find it later on, but I'll just show you how this comes out. Now, this chicken scratch takes a while to print out, you know, with the pen. So do give it some time. And, you know, there are all these little bits and pieces. So you'll notice here, this is the moon came up on the inside of the card. I might want to change that. Do I have a yellow moon? No, I'm going to just hit the triple dots and move it to this one. That way I can use 8.5 by 11 inch paper, the Michaels brand. And you see, these are all the pieces. Yay. And if you're like me, you want to do these, you want to do 2 of them, you can do that. Hit project copy 2 and then hit continue. And then let us just do the interior card, since that's what we're kind of focusing on. And I'll show you how to put the whole card together, but I just kind of want to show you. So in this case, you see here on this mat, we have to score, and then we do the pen, and then we do the cut. So this is the way that Cricut does it. It does scoring first, then it does your writing, and then it does the cutting, okay? Now, because I have a maker, I have a maker, it's going to tell me to put in the scoring wheel. But because not all of us have makers, I wanted to show you, so I'm just going to choose medium cardstock. So here it says, put in the single scoring wheel. So if you have a maker and not the single scoring wheel, you can switch to scoring stylus. If you have an Air 2 or an Explore 3, then it will only give you this, okay? So this only comes up if you have a maker. And the scoring stylus is really useful. It's not super deep, but it is really useful so you know where to score it at. Okay, so first I'm going to bring you over here so you can kind of see. And there's my scoring stylus. It goes into clamp A, and we keep our housing with the blade in clamp B. So I'm holding it down here at the bottom and then clicking it back in there. And then I'm going to hit the blinking light like this. and it's going to go through all of the motions, and it's going to just do that one score line. An interesting thing is if you put nothing in clamp B, it will pretend like there's something in there. Okay, so if you happen to forget to put in there, you can actually run this through a second time and just do the scoring part. Does that make sense to people? I can tell you what I mean by that. So in a second. All right. So here's our gel pen. It is the tangerine. I'm just going to test it here because I want to make sure it's writing really well. And I'm going to click it in and then hit the C. I saw a post on Cricut Official yesterday about pens, so it's worth reminding you that gel pens don't get stored face down. The other do. The other pens, like the regular pens that look like this, I don't know if it's gonna focus on there, but that's actually a felt tip, and it's a very thin felt tip, and so you should use it like this. When you're not in use, put it like this, okay, in your container or whatever you put it in. But these are gel pens, and so you do not want to store these with the tip side down. You want to store them with the tip side up because it's actually a roller ball. I don't know if it's gonna, it might not, but it's a roller ball, and it rolls the gel ink out. So store the gel inks with the tip up, not down, okay? And the gel inks, in my opinion, are the best gel inks on the market. I've tried some of the other ones, and when these first came out, which was 2018, I remember because I was in Utah and they gave us a set. And I was like, oh my God, I love these pens. And as soon as I got home, like one of the first things I did was take all my Sakura and all of my gel pens, glitter gel pens, all of that. And I just gave them away because I was like, oh, I'm so tired of them skipping and all of that. And so they just never worked right for me. And I don't know why. I mean, I was storing them correctly and everything. But these ones really work great. They're super juicy. If anybody remembers, there was this lady way back in my stamping days, so like this would be in the 90s, and she used, I think her name is Dee Gruning or something like that. Anybody remember her? And she would always say, oh, this pen is super juicy. And I always remember that. She used these Marvi Uchida pens that were very wet, and she would use them right on the back of her rubber stamps. I really always just liked when she said that, and she had a really lovely disposition as well, so I just kind of liked that lady. So it's doing the writing, and you'll notice that the writing's taking longer because it's like going up and down, up and down, up and down, because it's that chicken scratch, okay? And when it comes out, it will still be wet. So that means if you're a klutz like me, you have to make sure you're not going to touch the ink. And if you like to emboss and you can find your heat gun, then we can just sort of sprinkle on this powder. And actually, I think what I'll do is I'll show you how to do that. But I just don't have a heat embosser right here. I might have to do it off camera later on or whatever so that you can see. Okay, so that is when this is up, I'll show you that, and we'll watch. I'm on a mission. Who's on a mission? You met her? She's a very sweet lady. I don't know if she's still around. Bye, Brad. And let's see. Yeah. So if you are kind of like me and you've smeared the ink on your matte, and you're not going to do the embossing, what I would suggest is you let it dry without touching. Leave it on the mat even, and just let it dry. Don't touch it, because, you know, you always try so hard not to touch it, and you're like, and then one thing smears. So that's the only downfall of the gel pens, is that they do smear until they dry. Once they dry, they're on there really good. And one of the things that I noticed is that it actually feels a little embossed. This is I did this in the blue, so if actually you can feel where the ink is, it feels pretty cool. But see, I did not smear this one because I didn't touch it. All right, so I'm going to move you down here as it continues writing, and we will put this all together. Okay. Oh, by the way, I got my I got some colored pencils out for tomorrow. I'm working on the card for Freebie Friday, and it's actually from SVG Cuts. I'll post a link. Here it is in process, but it's all birch cards, and I used my pencils to get that birchy kind of a look to it. So I want to show you how I did that. So if you have colored pencils hanging around, I have this awesome set from Arteza, and if you want a link to that, I'm happy to show you. Okay, so this card goes together. It's just a paper piecing card. So here is our base, and there is the yellow. It doesn't actually matter that the sticker's here, but I'll remember it's there. So, you know, I might want to kind of take that off. It doesn't matter that there's a sticker there, because it's going to get sandwiched in. Okay, Rita, get over it. Get over it, Rita. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put that on the card. Whoops. Got things moving all around here. So we're going to put this on the card. It's slightly smaller, so don't go all the way to the edge on it. So here we go. Just like this. All right. Now it's cutting out. You can hear it's cutting out. So here is my completed interior card. All I have to do is, I just like the way that it did it. It's like darker here and lighter there. I think it looks kind of creepy cool. So that's cool. So we're going to then put the glue here. And yeah, it comes with an envelope, which you can make. You can make. I'm not making. I do sometimes make envelopes, but I buy my envelopes in large packs at Create for Less. I buy them, like, there's 250 in a pack. And so it kind of doesn't make sense to buy them. So, okay, I don't know if you can kind of see this, but it's still like kind of wet. So if I wanted to, I could put my embossing powder on there, and I could actually leave it on if I wanted to while it's drying. But after you put the embossing powder on it, it takes up all the moisture, you know. And then all you do is get a piece of paper that, you know, is scrap, and take all the extra off like this. I suppose I shouldn't have left it on the mat, but you can see that it's stuck on there, which then you can then heat it. Okay, so that's how you do the embossing. All right, but this isn't an embossing show. This is a Cricut show. So let's put together this awesome cat. Okay, so you'll notice that we've got the cat. Did I cut out 2 of these? I might have cut out 2. Oh, I just cut out 2 of those black, because I was thinking of doing some black glitter, and this is going to be the last layer. Then I realized it's only going to show in a few little places. Plus, look at the whiskers, because most glitter cardstock has a white back or white core. You would have to then, if you wanted to use glitter, which I would not recommend, but you'd have to come back and ink those whiskers, or you'll see that white, and I don't like that. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to cut it out in solid black, and then I'm going to put together my cat. Now the cool thing about this cat is it's got so many awesome little layers on it. And I'm going to do it flat so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just getting all the different layers here. Come on. And just put the moon aside. Moon is aside. So these are all the layers. This is my extra one there. So these are all the layers, and you have to put them in order, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on one of the colors. So there's the black, there's the white. And don't feel bad about going back and checking your image, by the way. So here's the orange, which I'm not too sure, but I think, yeah, I think the yellow goes under the orange like this. And then this goes on here. And then the hat is green and black. So you have to put the hat under the orange, and then, do I do this? No, do I do this? I always have to check it. So this. Okay, so it goes bigger to smaller, right? Like this. And this. Just like that, and then you put the white, I'm sorry, the nice pretty yellow there. So before you start gluing, kind of get it in order, because you might be all like, oh, like me, you know. And actually, I think, but I'm not sure, I think if you switch this over, that might look a little better. No. All right, so no. Okay, so this is just paper piecing. So if this bores you, you don't have to watch, obviously. But this is one of my favorites is paper piecing, just because I love making those layers. But I'm also going to make my cat like a little fatter or a little more dimensional, because I want to have him sort of jumping off the card. So I am going to use pop dots for that. So kitty. Round here, people go mad for black cats. I think because of Salem. Now my Frankie is black, but he's got white, so that makes him a Tuxedo Cat. So this is the way this is going to go, like that. All right. So we're just gluing all these little. If you're new and you don't know what I'm using for glue, first of all, let me say you don't need to use this glue. However, I really like it and do recommend it. You can buy it by going to the link on my where is the link? In the description of the video, I always put the link. It's called Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. It is from Amazon. It is an affiliate link, by the way. And all that means is that I get a little bit of a commission, basically, for having sent you there. Now, I just did something, it's a kind of a boo-boo, and that is, I need to be able to put these two colors in under this, so I have to not press it down, okay? And then I'll just get some glue here and get it inside. And the cuts go bigger to smaller. So this is the smaller, and then this one is a little bigger, and then the orange is even bigger, and then it's going to get a black layer over the top. All All right, so there's two of, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that there's two of this black layer. All right. You'll do this better, but I think you're not supposed to see those layers. Here we go. Here we go. I think you're not supposed to see them. Okay. All right. So then this black layer comes over here, but it also has a little bit of, you know, frivolity at the crown right there. So let's go ahead and glue that on. If you wanted to cut the hat, the top part of the hat with glitter, black glitter, if you have black glitter. Not a lot of people. I have a lot of black glitter, but not a lot of people have it, I suppose. You could do that, but again, you have to worry about the sides of the core of the, you know, when you see paper and it says solid core, that means the color is the same throughout. So if you rip or cut your paper, you aren't going to see a white inside, okay? Sew your pants. Put them on and make them dance. So, okay, last bit for our cat. And there are some pretty intricate cuts on the last bit of the face, so I would definitely cut this on cardstock for intricate cuts, because you want that cheesy grin to come out, you know. And there we go. And just this piece is left. There's our darling cat. A little extra glue there. So he's going to go sort of like sideways or slightly tipped like this, because we need to leave space for the the moon, which I'm not going to pop dot. So I'm going to pop dot the cat, because I want him to be like, he's out there, got his head sticking out, and he's looking at the moon, you know, making friends and stuff. So I'm just going to take a few pop dots. And, you know, you can layer pop dots. So if you wanted him to come out really a lot, you can actually layer them. I've done that in the past where I've had like a couple of pieces that I wanted to show more, you know, like in the front. So by putting like 2 layers of pop dots on there, you have basically one of your pieces or your focal point is slightly forward. It's kind of a cool little dimensional trick. You could actually, this is a thing my sister used to do. So this goes way back, because my sister is not a crafty person. But when she was younger, she would make these dimensional scenes. And she'd basically take the same image and then cut out certain pieces from it and then use the pop dot. And it made it dimensional. It was really kind of cool. So, okay. So there's our pop dotted cat. And let's just do the last bit, which is the moon. So the moon is actually turned this way. It's a really cute moon. And I'm just trying to remember how it goes together. Sometimes you gotta, okay, so we got this, then this, then this, then this. How did I know that? Because this has like no cutouts for the eye. This one has just one. This one has a little bit bigger, and then this one has the full detail. Okay? And then just glue it all together and smack that baby right on the card. I got a new printer. I got it on sale. Where did I get it? Best Buy. And it's one of those Epson large format Echo tanks, and I was like, it was on sale. Of course it was on sale because I don't buy anything that's not on sale, but it was like $200. If you guys, it's just, obviously it's not something you need, but I needed it because I was using my HP and it's very old. And even though I have HP Instant Ink, this has those Echo tanks. I'm not going to convert it to a sublimation printer. I'm just using it for a printer, but it's wide format. And that means I can like cut, I think like 11 by 17 I can print. Oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? Woo, 11 by 17. So I'll let you know once I get it out of the box and everything. Okay, so here is our gorgeous vintage, let me make sure he's on there real good. Vintage cat. I might have put the moon, but he's talking to the moon with the little stars in the back. And then there's our special greeting, which I put in this wrong. Let's see, extra space here, but you'll do it better than me. And that's it. That's all it takes. Literally all you needed to make this card was just a few sheets of cardstock, black, orange, yellow, a little bit of green, or if you don't have green, a slice of purple, and yellow. Did I mention yellow? And then white. So these are all easily acquired images. Images in paper. And then you need some sort of a pen if you want to do the, ooh, I got the hiccups. If you want to do the inscription. Now, I'm going to, at the end of this video, I'm going to post the link. I promise I'm going to post the link with the inscription here, but definitely try out my my technique of using your notes to create a little sentiment database. The other thing is, tomorrow being Freebie Friday, we're going to grab a freebie at SVG Cuts. So you can do this now or do it tomorrow. It's up to you. But we're going to go to SVG Cuts to free designs right here. She has so many lovely designs for Christmas and Halloween. So there are a lot of designs here, and I think they're just not well presented because there are some pretty amazing things. There's like a 3D, what do you call that? Nutcracker, like one of those nutcrackers. So there's the card that we're going to do right here. You'd click on this, and so clearly it's like 5 years old, but it is a birch card, and you see she had these little things there, so I thought, I think that I will do that too. But I know she used ink. Now she also used in the background like a little farm thing, and she stamped here, but we're going to use iron-on for that. So this is free. Once you find it, you can just scroll down and download it like this. It will come zipped, and maybe your computer will unzip it, and there are several pieces to it that you want to upload, okay? All right, everyone, that's gonna do it for me today. I hope you had fun, and we will see you again tomorrow. I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope you get some crafting in. Crafting is life. All right, everybody, take care, and yeah, take care of yourself. All right, see ya. Bye.